Next one. Am I the asshole for hiding money from my wife? We both earn a similar amount of money, around 60,000 euros a year, and have always split our money in a way where we both have the exact same amount of money each month. For example, my wife has higher travel expenses because she's in the office more than I am, but we still essentially split it 50-50. I am pretty much in charge of the bills in the house, partly because I know where to look to get the cheapest bills, but mainly because of a complete lack of interest from my wife to get involved. I have a spreadsheet that details all of our bills and has a formula that automatically adjusts how much money my wife has to send over to me if one of us has a salary increase or a bill goes up or down. Here's the issue. A few years ago, my wife started following a new religion and giving 10% of her salary as a tithe. Secondly, she is overly generous when it comes to giving money to friends and family. I described her as stubbornly righteous. For example, her friend was unemployed and she paid about 500 euros a month to her. Altogether, she gives away over 600 euros a month. It's all part of her allowance, so she can do with what she wants with it. Issue becomes when it's time to do anything with our family. We go out to a restaurant, soft play, don't know what that means, etc. It all being paid for by me as she's always broke. Our house is falling apart, we need new windows, roof repairs, boiler, etc. It's me who ends up paying for it. Recently, she has been asking about certain bills, nursery fees, for example, going down and more of that being added to our allowance instead of going towards debt or home improvements. I've done this, but only to a very small extent. So I've paid off my student loan, which means an extra 250 euros each month from me. Usually this will be split to 125 euros extra for the both of us, but I haven't told her about it and just increased the amount we save each month by 250 euros. I recently paid off a credit card debt that we've had for some years. She had no idea how much we paid each month towards it, so I've put an extra 100 euros in savings and split the remaining 50 euros for our allowance, telling her that it's the uplift. That's pretty much it. Is this behavior justified? It's a little sneaky, but the fact that the excess money is going into our savings account or towards much needed home renovations, not just cosmetics. It's not like I'm stealing money or having a secret gambling addiction. So what do you think, Patty? I'm curious what you have to say because I feel like I might be different.
I don't know. Wait, I'm actually curious what you're gonna
All
say.
right. I think overall not the asshole because there's usually one person in a relationship who is going to be controlling the money and there's one person who is not good at money. So I think that the one person is going to be more responsible with the money. And if they have a little extra and they put it towards savings or towards renovations that need to get
Hmm.
done, I think that's pretty normal.
Okay.
And I'm not done because I wanted to say that the starting a new religion, 10% in tithes, and generous with the friends. It's these are things that need to be talked about together. And I
Hmm.
understand that's coming out of her allowance, but it's like, well, then she wants to go out all the time, and she can have it both ways. And it's like I
Hmm.
think if anyone's being unfair, it's really the woman because she wants the money to come from somewhere, and it's like she needs to be a little more realistic. And I think these little adjustments is like it's never good to lie in a relationship, but is this lying or is it this is how the money's gonna go? This is what needs to get done. I'm just taking care of what needs to get taken care of. It's not necessary for me to tell her.
Yeah, so I kind of feels I kind of feel the same
Mm,
ish because you shouldn't keep it from her because she finds out that you're keeping it from her. Like that's not gonna be good.
yeah,
Like how angry I would be if this was my situation. But at the same time, I control the money in the relationship
I don't.
and I control where things go
Yeah,
and but everything needs to be discussed. Like I'm not okay, sure, did I decide to put some money in our Roth IRAs without communicating to you first? Sure, because I put in the work to know that it was okay to do it then and whatever. But I'm not about to buy like, a $500 piece of furniture and be like, yep, it's just happening and not tell you or something like that or not discuss it first. And then I would expect the same from you. Like, you're not going to buy something really anything like only stuff that I buy without communicating too much first, but usually I communicate. But
It's usually essentials.
it's usually just like, yeah, like the essentials, like, oh, I just bought more iron supplement. Like, yeah, okay, I'm not like
Yeah.
communicating to you about that first. Like,
Yeah.
normal stuff, or whatever. But like, I'm not gonna buy anything without putting the thought into it first. So the
Yeah.
fact that she's the one that's like obviously not that great with money,
Hmm.
it makes sense that you are the one kind of calling the shots. But I feel like that should be discussed beforehand. Like, you both agreed, like she agreed, yeah, I know I'm not great with money, like I cannot be really trusted because I just want to give it away to
Hmm.
everybody. And like, she needs to be a little bit more logical about it. Like, it seems like she's a bit more emotional with her money, like where it's like, oh, I have money, give it away, give it away, give it
Hmm.
away. And it's like, okay, that's great when you have the money to give it away, but that, like, he's not agreeing to it. Like, it's kind of like you both don't have control over the money because you're not controlling what she's doing with her allowance or the 50% or whatever.
Hmm.
But then she is not controlling what you're doing, but then you're also holding this tiny amount. It is such a small amount of money that she doesn't know about. And I think if it was more money, I would be more mad about it. But there are stories of people like putting away money that like the other partner didn't know about so that it was there for like a rainy day and like stuff like
Hmm.
that. So it's like, I'm on his side because it seems like she's not to be trusted with it. But
Hmm.
at the same time, I wish you guys had a relationship where you were more able to be more comfortable talking about your money situation and
Hmm.
communicate on everything. Like, if she's not going to communicate to you, hey, I'm going to give $500 to my friend because she really needs it every single month, and that wasn't a decision that both of you decided on, yeah, you saving an extra $200 that she doesn't know about, yeah, that's less than half the amount that she is spending on somebody else without your approval.
Yeah.
At
It's
least
kind
that's
of
how you're
insane.
setting it up. You're saying that she decided to do it and that she didn't consult you first. If she said to you, hey, I know this is my allowance, but I just want to make sure it's okay with you if I give it to this person, then, oh, that's her communicating to you. So you need to step up and say if you don't like that, and you need to step up and communicate about this.
Yeah.
But if
He
you guys
clearly doesn't
already
like
don't
it.
have a relationship where you guys can communicate and it seems like you make more than her, then or something like that, then it just makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense that you would just save it, and as long as you're saving it, it's good. If you were using it for something else, then I would totally not be on your side.
That's how it goes. I think number one, like you said, you clearly don't like the way she's spending her money, so you should probably talk to her about it. And I think also maybe you could say, "Hey, looks like you get your allowance, you get to spend it freely. I don't get to spend mine freely, so mine's gonna be bigger, or there's gonna be a third allowance for." Fine.
Yeah, there should be a joint account where stuff for like dates or the house or this or that should be going to, and then her allowance is probably gonna go down because,
Yeah.
yeah, that's also ridiculous that you're like, it just does not make any sense to me. Like, the fact that you guys think of your money as separate just does not make sense to me because if I was making $25 an hour or something or whatever, I guess I shouldn't put a number on it. But if I was making, let's say, however much more money than you, I would not be thinking, "Oh, I make more money." Like, it just doesn't make sense. I would think that, oh, we are making more money, like,
Yeah.
and I guess that we've always been like kind of similar on the amounts that we make, but like, if you're sick one week, I'm not like, oh, well, there you go. I made more money, so
Yeah.
it's just I am better with money, so I control it. I like being able to see it. I like being able to make sure that
Goes in buckets.
we're
Yeah.
okay and whatever, and that we are saving for what we want to save for, and whatever. But
If you put more money in savings and we don't go out one of the days in the week, that's basically what's happening here. I'm not gonna bat an eye. And
Like,
I'm not going to ask you to inform me.
yeah.
So I'm overall not the
Also,
asshole.
yeah, like I put money into savings all the time without like asking you first, like or like, and I want to do it more. Like I
Yeah.
want to put more money into our savings, so it's like I'm not gonna be like. It would be more like a conversation, like, hey, I want to save more. Like that's the conversation I have. Like I'll say, oh, yeah, like I want to save so that we can go travel later in this year. We've had that conversation.
Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna tell you every 2 seconds if oh yay I made a little extra money. You know, like it's
Yeah.
just dumb.
I
But
think
I wish that you guys had a more of open communication about the money and that you guys look at it as more as like one income. Like both of your incomes are just became one. Like the fact that it's still trying to be split and that oh I'm paying for to fix the house, I'm paying for the dates. It should be because you're just paying for the dates like
yeah.
together because you're both there. And the fact that she is able to just do whatever she wants is just like I don't know, especially if you have debt. Like if you guys don't have any sort of debt, the only thing you're paying off is your mortgage or your rent. Your cars are paid off, your credit cards are paid off, all that stuff. And you guys make a decent amount of money, then like it makes sense to have the allowance set up. But like
Yeah.
if you have debt, no one should be just willy nilly giving out money.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
I 100%
And
agree.
10%, if any religion is like, you have to give 10%, then that's not a good religion. It's supposed to be, that's a guideline. That is like, oh, that's like how much you should be doing as long as you're able to.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be, you're not allowed to come here if you don't do 10%. And the fact that you guys had credit card debt and there's possible other debt is insane to me that you guys would do this. Like, no.
Also, the friend unemployed, they're getting 500 euros. That probably can't be that much different than $500.
Yeah, it's basically, I think, similar.
I think this guy. Another thing I was kept thinking about is I wouldn't I wouldn't care unless do you feel guilty about it? Is that why you're bringing it up?
I mean, I'm sure he feels a little bit guilty because he's like, oh, well, I shouldn't be lying to her. But at the same time, I'm like doing something good for us. So it's like,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, you don't want to hide anything. But the thing is, you
Yeah.
guys don't have that open communication. So I would think that it would need to be a sit down conversation. And especially if you want to tell her, you should be like, hey, I felt uncomfortable telling you I had this extra money because I'm afraid that you're just going to give it away, even though we still have things that we need to save up for.
Yeah.
We still have things that we need to fix. We still have debt to pay off. And you're just willy nilly giving away money, and it's making me
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
I don't think he wants to pull on that thread.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to have, it's just going to keep going down and down and down. And you're going to make a little bit more money, and you're not going to tell her. You
Yeah.
got a little bit of promotion. Not going to tell her. You did it. And yeah, you're saving it all, and you're being good, and you're thinking ahead, but you're going to keep lying if you don't have that open communication about it.
Yeah, you should be. You should, if it's bothering you, especially, it's gonna keep eating away at you. I think. Also, though, like putting money in savings is not taking money. It's just
That's the
waiting to
thing.
allocate
The
it.
fact that there's not a communication about how much you guys want to be saving, the fact that she doesn't know anything about it, she doesn't even look at the accounts to see how much you guys are saving. She doesn't even look at how much you're making, how much she's making. She's not paying attention at all. So it sounds like you are kind of the one in charge of the money. Like you said that you make sure that's 50-50, even though she spends more money traveling to work than you do, but you make sure it's 50-50, so that it sounds like you are in control. So if she believes that you're the one in control and she's perfectly fine with that, then I say it's perfectly fine for you to not communicate this. But at the same time, if the number gets bigger, then you should definitely communicate it. But all in all, you should really be open to communicating and tell her that you're not comfortable with her spending all this money, even though it is her money.
Yeah.
But like At the same time, it's not her money anymore. It's your money. Both of your monies. Like, your income and her income are now each other's income.
Yeah, you gotta think about that.
Like, it would be insane to be like, oh, well, you are the one who wants a new mattress. So you are the one that's going to have to pay for it from your money and you're going to have to save up. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. You guys are both going to be on that mattress. You guys are both, like, together. Like, anything that you guys buy, like,
It's we.
and it's just, yeah, that mindset is insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something dumb that only one of you wants. Like, I want matcha. You want coffee. Okay, then we're going to buy it. Is one more expensive than the other? Possibly. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It's like, what do we need to keep us going? What do we need? And not what do I need, and did I make enough money for it? It's like, I don't know.
It's just, did we make enough money for it? You know, like, are we able to afford this? Not,
Yeah.
are you? Because you're giving $500 to that friend, and I'm annoyed about it, but I'm not going to communicate it. Like, oh my God.
That's what I see the big problems are, is that you have problems and you have guilt, but you're not going to say anything. That's more what it is. The smart allocation of money, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And taking care of things without her having to worry about it, I don't have a problem with that.
Someone said, this one is tricky, but I'm going to land on everyone sucks here. Not because you want to save, pay off debt, and handle the upkeep on your home. All of that is super reasonable, and in my opinion, financially responsible. The everyone sucks here is because this financial dynamic and communication style is unsustainable, and you both are avoiding facing the hard conversation. You two need to sit down and get on the same page with financial goals and priorities and come to some agreements. The communication in your marriage has broken down. She is supporting others at the detriment of your family, and you are hiding money. This can easily spiral if you don't get a handle on it. Quite literally exactly what I said.
That's exactly what you said, yeah. It's not, the problem is not the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes, like, for the good of the
And if it's
marriage and
decided that
relationship.
you are the one who controls the money, then
Yeah,
it's
that's what
fine.
we're doing.
Obviously, you still communicate during that, but like
Yeah.
you don't have to like say everything as long as you're doing something good. But yeah, I agree with that. This person said, not the asshole. Do what you have to do. My husband sounds like your wife, and the only way to get ahead with someone like that is to not let them know the whole pictures. Good luck.
That's not good advice.
Someone said, not the asshole, but I suggest to have a conversation with your wife. This shouldn't go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so most people were like, not the asshole. The one person said everyone sucks here. But, I mean, like, it's funny because that's kind of like us, where it's like, yeah, you don't really know everything that happens, but everything happens for the goal of both of us.
Yeah.
And
I think
I
there's...
wouldn't make, like, let's say for some reason I made like an extra few $100s. I wouldn't not tell you that. I would tell you.
That's up to the amount where I would want to know about it.
It's so sad that like not have that kind of communication with money, that you're just because I know that there are people out there that as soon as you have extra money, oh, let's spend it. Oh, let's give it to this person, or let me just give it to church, or give it away, or buy this or buy that. And it's like, okay, like, or we could save it.
Yeah. Well, I'm the kind of person where it's like, if I have money, I have money, and that state is just an on or off switch.
Yeah, see, this is how I control the
I'm
money.
just like, having money. And if I spend it, it doesn't click in my head that it's less money. I'm just like, still having money.
Yeah, that's like the same thing with you with time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, as soon as you look at the time, you think it's still that time.
I think I need therapy.
But, you know what's funny is that Francesca has the same thing with time, where she thinks that it's like the same time. Sometimes I can guess wrong, but I'm always thinking, oh, it's moving. Like the last time I checked the clock, it was 4 o'clock. Okay, it's now past 4 o'clock. Like I can,
No.
you know,
For me, I'm
determine
like,
that.
it's 3:59 still.
Oh my gosh, it's so weird. I think that's just like, I don't know if that's a therapy thing or
I
if
think
it's
I
just
need
a person
therapy
thing.
though. Mm.
Well, we had some interesting stories. I think that was a pretty good theme.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. When you announced me were doing that, I was so happy. I was like, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in these podcasts, you want to say that, like they bring up the whole wrong point of all of it. They'll say, "Oh, is this right or is this good or am I the asshole?" It's like that's completely illegal. Or how do they you think they have the right to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. How
Like
do you
taking the
think they have a
house or
right?
taking the car. It's like what the fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm
We're,
glad we got to hit the nail on the head there of like,
I know, and I also like say that a lot. Like I'll be like, that's illegal, or that
yeah,
is not okay, or that would not hold up in court. Because
yeah,
even then, like even with people like, oh well, we're not allowed to do this, and it's like they can't make you do that. Like
make you
I'm
do
very
that.
like, nope, that's not gonna hold up in court. So this
And
kind of worked
also
out.
exactly. Also at like work and jobs and wherever, it's like a lot of times people will say things to you and it's like you can't force me to do that.
Yeah,
And it's like people need to call that out more.
yeah.